back to another video of your local unreliable furry settings that day. Alright, let's go over settings. So I usually have these off. I mean, unless you have another, you could check for these. I mean, I assume if you have like a third controller, you could just turn it on and use it as a track. But I don't recommend it, just keep it off. Filtering, no filtering. I can show you an example of what no filtering looks like. Basically, there is no filtering to the trackers. It's going to give you everything it sends as is. There is no modifications to the tracking. It's just normal, just fine. Nothing too big. It's just normal tracking. I dropped my controller. For smoothing, I don't recommend it, but the default percentage is 30%. This is what it looks like on 30%. This is smoothing on 30%. It gives it more latency, which I don't like and don't recommend, but it does give it a smooth touch. Smooth tracking. Prediction. I usually have this at 80%, so it doesn't bug out at 100 nor lower. This is what prediction looks like. I completely recommend it because it's less latency, not too buggy either, and pretty standardly fast. I prefer it. I take it as a recommendation. If you want to use it, you go ahead and use it or experiment with the percentages. Moving on to drift compensation. So maybe for older trackers, I'm not too sure, or if you have drift tracking that's constant, you turn this on, or what this says right here, drift compensation prediction, predicts yaw drift compensation beyond previously measured range. Enable this if your trackers are continuously spinning on a yaw axis. So if it's spinning constantly, you turn that on. Drift compensation you should turn on only when, well, as it says here, if you reset very often, which I have it off because I have the latest trackers. You should mess with these settings when you have this setting on, these two or whatever. I'm not sure what this does. It just resets. Mounting reset, I don't like to have that on. Not recommend it anyway. Magnometer, this is experimental. It's really different with the type of tracking you have, I think, because I don't use it and I don't see a difference on it, and I think it makes the tracking a little worse, so I don't have it. Skating correction. So I can give you an example of what skating correction is. Skating correction, this is what it looks like when skating correction is on. So as you can clearly see, if I move around, my feet are not staying still on the floor. It looks a little funky. See when I move my knee, my leg moves. Yeah. That's what no skating correction. With it turned on at 60%, my personal preference. This is what skating correction looks like. So basically, if I move my foot really slow, it's gonna not move. But if I move it fast, or lift it up, it's gonna go back. If I move really slow again, it's not gonna move, but your foot is moving, and if you lift it up, it's gonna slowly move back. But that's if you're moving very slowly. If you move it really fast, it's gonna go on with the foot. And it keeps it in place just fine. I keep it at 60 to 70. That's my personal preference and recommendation. I do not recommend going any lower, but you can experiment. 100% would basically keep your foot on the ground. As long as you're moving it decently fast with the momentum, then it'll move with it on the floor. But I recommend 60. Floor clip. This is what floor clip does. It basically keeps your feet not clipping to the floor. So if I bend down, it's going to clip to the floor. Foot plant. So basically, if I'm laying down and my foot is on the floor, so basically if I lay down so like that, it doesn't align. My leg doesn't align directly by the floor. So if I turn it on, foot plant. If I turn on foot plant, it stays connected to the floor and it looks highly more accurate. Now my foot is placed on the floor. This leg is see it prefer to have it on, and I take it as a recommendation too. Toe snap, if you don't have foot trackers, don't turn this on. If you do, don't turn it on either. Just have a tracker for it. Because this is what it looks like it on without foot trackers, because I don't have it. So let's say I'm looking outside to see if I can see. But let's say if I do this a little bit, or just a tiny bit if I'm walking. Actually, hold my head's on, you might see it more better. So if I bend down like this, my toes will lift up just a little bit. And it's fine with this avatar, but in certain avatars it looks a little funky. Or if I just move my foot up like that, the toe looks down. And it's a little funky, but it's a personal preference. I recommend you, if you just have foot trackers, just use it. This is what it looks like without the toe snap. Basically, it moves your toe. That's it. And now it doesn't move my toe. Because of fizz bones, it's moving the toe, but that's just fine. But I prefer to have it off and not fizz bones to its thing on the personal avatar. I recommend it to have it off, but it's really mostly just a personal preference. This doesn't really matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter either. I mean, if you have foot trackers, I guess this matters if you want to tiptoe to reset. You know, just read that. And, yeah, just don't remember this for VR. Force arms to be tracked by the headset. If you have arm trackers, keep this off. Enforce constraints. So basically, if you're bugging out and your trackers explode, it basically, what this says, prevents joints from rotating past your limit. So if your leg is supposed to be facing forward, but it's actually facing backwards, it's not going to face backwards, more like to the side. Extend spine model, you always want to have that on if you don't have a hip tracker. This, same thing. This can turn it on, turn it off. I like to have it on because it makes the tracking slightly better, even if you have leg trackers. This is really just, I keep this on the default. This is too much settings to even bug around with anyway. Low cap mode. I don't use this at all. I don't think anyone would, unless they're doing something on an application. This is my personal settings. Copy it if you want. Always keep this on. Anyway, down to advanced. Oh yeah, and make sure here. Make sure all of these are checked. So go in your VRChat, in your menu, look around through these. If it has an exclamation point, you might want to fix that. Most importantly, have this on lock head. On lock hip, your view is going to be slightly lower than your avatar's eyes. So keep this on lock head. Make sure your height is the same. In the VRChat settings, the tracker model axis, so it's a lot easier to see the tracker inside your body. Calibration range 0.2. So basically, I'll show you where the calibration range is. So it's a little funky. The default is 0.40. And there. So you go here, double click this, go down to tracking in IK, and you will find the calibration range right here at 0.20. If you click that, that's going to be 0.40. This is the FPG tracker model, axis, copy all of these settings, and it's going to make sure this is your real life height, metrics, all of this, shoulder tracking, keep that on, compensation. Turn this off, I think, shoulder trackers, I'm not sure. And yeah, just copy all of these. Make sure these are the same, reset it. I don't know about this because I'm on eye tracking. Yeah, you get the point though. You saw all those settings here, tracking and IK. Alright, gotta go back to click that. And DIY firmware tool, you always, this is an updater basically. Update it when it tells you you need to update your firmware. EMC doesn't matter. That either, nor does this matter. It's just some customizations. I turned developer mode on, you should turn it on too. Don't turn this on, it's kind of annoying. If you want, this is native decorations, the desktop. I usually have to have it off. Minimize the system tray so it's not in the way. Connect your trackers warning on exit. Serial device detection. Turn that on if you want to connect a new tracker. I don't know about this. You can have it on if you want. And that's it for settings. This is to set up your trackers. Body proportions, do that unless you just want to not have that. You don't have to do it. Automatic mounting, which is just stand up straight and then stand up in a ski kind of position. Oh, and when you see this, you always want to do a full reset and a full reset mounting. And that's it. All trackers. This doesn't matter if you don't have any. Oh, let's not show that. Yeah, just put this in many trackers you want, and you're set. Basically, click full reset mounting. Go to VRChat. You know, get the point. You click calibrate FPT. Make sure your body is aligned perfectly. Always perfectly, doesn't matter. Just as long as it's aligned. And boom. You now have body tracking. My settings are what I have. It's just fine. I'm getting my hip tracker soon, so no hips yet. It looks a little funky, but your tracker placement, that's another important thing. So the leg, right above the knee, it should be right in front of the knee, right here. The ankle tracker should be facing more, I would say your ankle is here, it would have to face this way, so it's a lot more comfortable instead of facing completely forward. If you do the mounting reset and automatic mounting, it'll do it for you and align it just fine. If you feel like it's a little off, you stand straight, make sure your feet are aligned, look straight, double click, or triple click for me, because the default is double click, but I changed it to triple click for me so I don't accidentally double click, and boom, it's an automatic reset. Stretch out your legs a little bit, look forward, and your foot might not be completely accurate. I know this is right now, I don't like it too much. And yeah, you can lay down just fine. You can lay down on the blanket because like guy uses basically lying this as it's tracking everything. It's not gonna get accurate, but it really depends on your proportions. Get out of here, freaking slimies. But I hope you enjoyed the video or settings. Bye bye.